Hello, class. Did you know that in the past 4 years, grocery prices have risen by about 25% in comparison with normal inflation, which has been a still very overwhelming 19%? I'm sure most of us have been affected by this in some way, shape, or form. Those grocery trips, which were once a month, that used to feed us for the whole month, now appear to only last us for a couple of weeks. Those couple $100 with which you would fill up an entire grocery cart now only fill up a portion of it. Even for those people on government assistance programs such as SNAP, those food stamps are leaving their accounts faster than they get there. And there really isn't much they can do about it, but just sit and wait for their next payment to hit their accounts so they can go and buy food for themselves and their children. Some of us see ourselves having to buy generic brand food items such as Great Value cereal or Kroger brand oatmeal, which are usually much more unhealthier for us. But how else can we budget the same amount of money we used to for groceries without having to reallocate money from different expenses such as transportation or housing? Others would much rather continue buying organic produce and higher quality proteins and simply cut back on the rest of their other expenses, which we really shouldn't have to choose from. With this said, how can we manage this universal challenge? What can we change and how can we put it into action? Follow me as we delve into this topic that affects every single one of us, which is the ruthless surge of grocery prices. By supporting your local food systems, advocating for policy change, and simply donating or volunteering, we can minimize the effects that these problems cause. According to Wilson, in 2022 alone, American consumers saw the largest annual increase in grocery prices, nearly 12%, since 1978. That spike contributed to a 45% jump in food insecurity between 2021 and 2022. Several factors have been acknowledged in regards to the surge in grocery prices, the main ones being labor shortages, supply chain disruptions, avian flu, droughts, and several other minor ones which are mostly out of our personal control. One way which we can alleviate the ongoing surges in groceries is by volunteering and donating to our local food systems. With the way prices are rising, the lower and middle class are the ones who are affected the most by this problem. This has caused more and more people to seek help at places such as food banks and shelters. According to Nelson, food banks and pantries too are struggling with the increase in cost, substituting or pulling the most expensive products like beef or proteins from offerings. By donating or simply volunteering every so often to these food systems, we can better manage the challenges that these problems can bring. Your time and resources can definitely promote change in your own communities. Solely explains how by taking proactive steps like attending community training events or joining local groups focused on food insecurity and increasing access to local foods, you can help create a sustainable and equitable food system in your community. According to Wilson, although supply chain issues and increased production costs have played a role in rising grocery prices, certain manufacturing and retail corporations have also taken advantage of the recent global inflation surge to raise their own profit margins. This simple fact demonstrates what is truly going on with these corporations. In a time of plight for the average consumer, they still manage to maximize their profits. As stated by Kim, corporate profits have hit their highest level ever, and corporate profit margins, which is how much they're selling each unit that they're selling, have hit the highest level in about 70 years. This emphasizes the need to advocate for policy change. The current presidential administration has claimed to have taken certain actions in order to help out with these problems, such as easing fertilizer prices, improving the capacity of the meat and poultry industries, and advancing an antitrust agenda to increase competition in the agriculture sector. Certain food items such as eggs and milk have ceased to continue rising of price, but mostly everything else has really not changed and continues rising. So what can be done about this problem we all face? The answer is pretty simple. Just take action. Whenever possible, donate those extra cans of food you had left over from your last groceries. Volunteer at the food bank for a couple of hours on your days off. Shop at those local food markets. Support your community food co-op organizations, and simply help out the people who need it more than we do. Another helpful tip would of course be to advocate for policy change. We can vote for representatives that actually address these issues. We can write letters to people who can make greater contributions to the cause than we can. But overall, raising awareness to this problem is inevitable if we truly want to make a change. By working in unity and helping each other out, we can achieve that change today.